I think giving this gain was not such a good idea. Wait a moment. Okay, no more gain. But hello again. Today we are again playing the vampire game. I would have wanted to play yesterday as well, but unfortunately I got a migraine, so I didn't. But on Thursday I managed to DM some D&D for my co-workers. I'm quite proud about myself because of that. It went pretty well, but I think that is what caused me to have the migraine, because you know, social anxiety is not a joke. But anyway, how about we continue playing? I checked after last time, and it looks like we're going to have the it saved the game last time. I hope the file isn't corrupted. I haven't tested it. If it is, I guess I will just have to cry or something. Ah. I have some technical difficulties again. It looks like just a moment, let's see. Okay. No more difficulties. Except I would like to try one more thing before we start properly. No, let's not try it. I should have this one. Some lighting effects in YouTube Studio. I think there should be some now. Yeah. Let's make it 2, kinda. Good. Okay, this is better. Much more atmospheric. Oh. Let's finally see if this game file is corrupted or if it can be played. Let's hope it isn't corrupted. I wanna play. I would really like to have this playthrough finished. And at the moment it is the 12th night. And I read somewhere that this game is like 16 nights, which means there are not many nights left. No, I'm not sick of it. It's just going to probably end somewhat soon, because, well, we are over the halfway mark, I think. And also, I decided what big game I want to stream next. I might still stream something smaller like this before I start the bigger one, but yeah. How do you do the doodle? I'm planning to play Pathfinder Kingmaker. I haven't played that one before and I have wanted to play that. So you have work again. At least the end of the month is coming, so you will be paid finally. Let's go confront the stalker. 4 euros. That's so little. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well-known, important. You're a nobody. I'm drinking hot chocolate again. I drank too much tea this morning, so not tea at the moment, but hot chocolate. I usually drink either tea or hot chocolate, or water. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you arrive with her. Everyone notices her, and she drinks it in like like it's her birthright. Addicted to hot chocolate? Maybe a little bit, because I promised myself at the beginning of this year that I wouldn't buy any candy for myself this year. And I have kept that promise. And well, this is kind of circumventing that. I can still have hot chocolate and like bread or any other sweet things, but I can't buy myself candy. And I'm also allowed to eat candy, but yeah, no buying candy. But I can buy myself hot chocolate. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello. I don't currently have any cookies, but when the cravings get hard, then I can buy myself some cookies or even ice cream. Yep. It is kind of sad. But at the moment I'm not even craving any cookies, so it's fine. I'll do my best. You spot the woman Sophie is referring to. Adelaide, your stalker. Intense, disheveled, young looking. A Malkavian, if you've understood correctly. As you approach, Adelaide smiles at you, with a darting look of distaste towards Sophie. Don't worry, I don't judge people by the company they keep. That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone. I don't know if I can kill her. And she gave me food, so... Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in Elysium, because it makes people glance toward you. I know she's making you do this. Don't worry, we'll be together again later. This game you play is too much for me. Let's go on a normal date next time. Sophie turns slowly to look at you, not as disapprovingly as you expected. Perhaps she thinks you're playing a social game, like kindred often do. Well, I'm trying my best. Oh, I'm sorry. Adelaide looks serious, as if you'd forced her out of her comfort zone. I admit, playing games is easier for me. But I appreciate it. Let's go on a date. Some night. Adelaide smiles at you shyly and walks away. Sophie waits a moment before speaking. I hope you know what you're doing. Let me know how it goes. I suppose this will be a good for a laugh in these tedious times. You're fairly certain that you accomplished your goal of getting Adelaide to stop harassing you with strange surprises. I'm not quite sure about that. Whether she'll hold you to the date, only time will tell. And that was that. And it's time to rest. During the day. Sophie again. What does she have to talk about? Sophie requests your presence tonight, and it seems urgent. You find her already waiting for you and clearly pondering something. It takes a few minutes of awkward silence before she speaks. I require your assistance, Solakium. There's a matter of great importance that I need to ask you to resolve for me. You will find what I'm about to say surprising, I'm sure, but I need you to hear me out. I need you to contact an important anarch figure in New York City and arrange a meeting for us. Sounds dangerous. Wait, I'm pretty sure we are not supposed to meet with anarchs. We're at war, right? The prince does look unfavorably at those who meet with the anarchs. That much is sure. True. That much is true. You will find that with this, as with many other things, the Camarilla's policies have more than their share of hypocrisy inherent in them. It comes hand in hand with using medieval power structures. What we are forbidden to do, the prince may do willingly. Some of these things can be done in the open, while others are kept secret, as do not invite discord and discontent. Did I drop something? I think I did, but it sounded like a pen. I have many pens. I need to contact a man named Talk. He's an influential member of the movement and, like most of them, very suspicious of the Camarilla, and that's why I'm sending you to extend my invitation. How do I know he'll even talk to me? He won't. Not yet, anyway. You need to start further down the chain, and with the right story to spin. From my limited sources adjacent to the movement, I've gathered that your best chance to speak to Talk is to first meet with his right-hand woman, Mia. She's a regular at a club called the Leech Pit. I think it would be best if you presented yourself as an anarch hopeful, a fledgling looking for a place of belonging. Only after you talk to talk directly should you mention my name and the meeting. I don't think that's the right approach. Lying to them won't make them trust me. When they find out the truth, they won't be happy or eager to work with us. That might be true, but if you tell Mia outright that I sent you, she's likely to cut you off. She hates our sect, and it will be difficult to make her listen to reason. After tonight, I suggest that we do not speak of this again until you arrange the meeting. There are many who would jump at the chance to use this against us. With Kaiser, you have proven you can get the job done, even if it requires additional legwork. I trust you to deal with this task as quickly and covertly as possible. Forgive me, but that's all the time I can spare tonight. What I'm asking of you is just a part of a bigger whole. Trust me, it will all be worth it. Okay, I'll do my best. I know you will. Check with Gregory for the address of the leech pit. Have Mia introduce you to talk. When she does, tell him I wish to meet. Let him pick the time and place, but let it be soon. If he proves too guarded, tell him I have something that will help him gather allies against Boss Callahan. That should pique his interest. Good luck. And obviously, not a word about this to anyone else. Not even any new friends you might have made in recent nights. This stays between us. The way she says that final sentence suggests a not so veiled threat, but her warm smile belies that impression. You want her to keep trusting you. You wouldn't want to disappoint her. Gregory gives you the address. The club is in Brooklyn. Apparently, it's some kind of heavy metal bar with a dedicated concert space. Time to pay this Mia a visit. The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of a concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to it. The noise hurts your ears. This venue isn't suitable for this kind of music, and none of the instruments sound the way they should. The cacophony sets you on edge. A group of a few dozen patrons are tightly packed together, and the smell of their sweat and youthful, excited blood overwhelms you momentarily. It's with some difficulty that you turn to the task at hand. You've heard your share about the Anarchs and how they fit in the kindred politics, but you only have your short encounter in Corona Park on which to base your actual opinion on the faction. That might have been just a horrible first impression, but you're keeping your guard up just in case. How do I find her? I did use my senses to try to find her, but that might trigger some bloody cravings. Maybe I should still. Well, I'm doing it. Sharpening your senses in a place like this is a huge gamble. I know. You try it, doing it slowly, bit by bit, so the loud sounds and lights don't dull your perception. A face flashes before your eyes in the mosh pit that just formed in front of the stage. Were those fangs? You're pretty sure you saw fangs on it. on one of the girls. A short pause in the music lets you take a closer look. Yeah, she's different from the others. You know these small details. No perspiration, the paleness of her skin. Here goes nothing. I'm kind of new to this whole being that thing. They're introducing me to the way you announce handling. Ugh, seriously? That's the best line you came up with? She doesn't smile, but she doesn't hit you either. Follow me behind the bar. She leads you through the bar to a back door that leads into a side room. Indie metal band posters are plastered on every wall, some of them 20 or more years old, judging from the tour dates. An old, sticky table and some rickety chairs are the only pieces of your furniture here. Sit down. Sure. You take a seat as the woman leans against one of the walls. The name's Mia. I'm guessing your visit here isn't a happy coincidence. I don't know you, so you're either new in New York or kept an outstandingly low profile. Both sound suspect. So before we take these pleasantries further, answer me this. Who do you run with? Hmm. Oh no, what am I going to say to her? I don't know. Hmm. Should I just tell her? I'm gonna just tell her. Sophie Langley is my patron, if that's what you're asking. Langley, huh? She looks you up and down. It's hard to read her. Well, Langley means Camarilla, and Camarilla means trouble. So let's get one thing out of the way. She leans in. If this is some clever ploy to oust me from my domain, or if you're just here to spy on me and the movement, I'll make sure that you don't enjoy undeath much longer. Got it? You can tell it's purely rhetorical question. Right, here's the pitch. The Camarilla likes to think they're the vanilla option, what with Prince Pitch spun hard pretending that they were always in charge. But New York has never been a fully cammy city. They might have won the city in 1999, but cams have had their asses handed to them many times over the years, and the movement has been here at least as long as they have. Hell, I moved to New York City before World War II, and that was a good while after I saw the Camarilla for what they are. A way to keep us subservient and in line. The ivory tower will tell you they're the only safeguard for the traditions, and that's kind of the problem. There's only one tradition we in the movement feel should be respected, the masquerade, obviously. Everything else? Ask the prince and she'll tell you it's the logical continuation of the masquerade. But really, it's just a way to keep the elders powerful and in control. She grimaces. But here's the thing. For all the talk of us bloodsuckers being solitary creatures, we need a community to keep up the masquerade. Community, yes, but authority? Not so much. We need a council of peers to keep the assholes and power-drunk fledglings in check, but not a feudal prince to tell you where to feed or who to hunt down when they step on her toes. She takes a brief break from her indignant rant. That sounds too good to be true. Mia bares her teeth in a predatory smile. You better believe it. Sure, we still have to struggle with the urges of our kind, but it's safer and more fair. We're as free as our condition permits, but unlike autarkies, we don't stand alone. Autarkies? What are those? The unbounded vampires who remain outside the larger kindred society of a given city either by ignorance or choice, usually considered anarchs by members of Camarilla, though most unbound have nothing to do with the movement. Okay, what about the Ivory Tower? Oh, just Camarilla. Alright. Nominally, a guy by the name of Callahan has been overseeing the movement's agenda in New York City for the past few decades. Most follow his lead. So what you're saying is I should talk to Callahan? No, I'm saying you should talk to somebody else. If you're concerned about being well received in this city, you might need to go through Callahan. But if you're serious about the honor cause itself, he's not your guy. Callahan eats up the fledglings like you and shits out self-preservation. His position as Baron is mighty shaky now, not least due to the fact he's backstabbed more than his share of allies. So he's doing what any other old fart in a position of power would do. He's doubling down. Negotiations are out. Intimidation is in. Tightening ranks as a precaution against the Second Inquisition. She surprises you by hacking and spitting on the ground in disgust. If you spend some time with the Cams, that should sound very familiar to you. He's no better than Panhard and her cronies are at this point. No, you need to contact Talk. And wouldn't you know it? It's your lucky night, because I'm the leak to do it through. How is he different from Callahan? Motherfucker, you're really asking for it. Her anger flares up again. I'll pretend that was just a naive question and not a half-assed jab. But it was a naive question. I just want to know. Thorg is a leader, a local baron who's overseeing a small domain, but doing a very good job of it. Callahan knows this, so he's giving him shit. Thorg is taking it like a champ. He's smart like that. For one of us rebels, he's got the patience of a saint. Makes you think back how things used to be. Way back when, if the stories are to be believed, anyway. You want to meet him? I'm gonna require a show of goodwill first. That's rare. What do you have in mind? She flashes you a mischievous half-smile. I appreciate your readiness, but I don't have the details just now. Ask for me at the bar when you're able. I'll leave something for you and we'll take it from there. No, come on, I gotta go. Did you have a good lunch, the doodle? She walks you out of the bar and you go your separate ways. Seems like there's nothing more to do than return here later and see if Mia really can help you conduct talk. Maybe it's time for Agathon or Hope. Sandwiches are nice. Hope is a difficult one. Maybe I should go with her. Hope's poorly scribbled message reaches you in your haven. Within an unmarked envelope, you find a barely legible address you're supposed to reach and the hour you're expected to arrive there. This is it then, the night of the final showdown. You check the clock. There's way more than enough time to comfortably reach your destination, but you decide to take a drive earlier, just in case. Oh yeah, are we like breaking into that double spiral place? I think probably that's it. The ride is uneventful, but becomes more and more tense as it goes on. The gravity of the situation starts getting to you. You're about to set out on an operation against a key New York City figure, well connected with both human and vampire elites. What if her security overwhelms you? How will the council react to your raid? You can only trust that Hope has thought it all through. She doesn't seem like the type who'd attempt a suicidal mission. Which isn't something you typically say about a person who regularly inflicts violence on herself in front of the camera. When you arrive at your destination, you find yourself in front of a building with a double spiral logo on it. This must be Montgomery's headquarters then. You look around the street and notice an obnoxiously lavender Mazda car parked nearby. Even though you've never seen it before, you might have an idea who it belongs to. You park your own car at the distance from the double spiral building and approach the Mazda. A familiar figure is behind the wheel, holding a smartphone in her hand. You knock on the window. She opens a window without turning her eyes from the device. Wow, you're early. Good evening. Yes, good evening for a glorious death. She lets a dead silence linger in the air for 10 seconds. Then she stops typing, diverts her eyes from the screen, gives you a melancholic stare, and winks. Ah, can I wink? Yes. Psych. God damn it. Come on, what's with that face? I suffer from too much FOMO to let myself die. I've got accounts to run, notifications to check. Plus, no way in hell I'd allow Montgomery the satisfaction of a draw. We're going there to secure a flawless victory. No time to wait, let's go. She gets out of the car and motions you to walk with her. Anyhow, glad you managed to make sense of my ugly scribbles. I totally forgot how exhausting it is to write stuff by hand. Still, not as exhausting as having to deliver messages personally to someone's door. Next time you meet Langley, ask her to get you a flip phone or something, okay? You reach the front of the building. I guess I don't have a phone. We're about to burn the shithole down to the ground. Hope I wouldn't mind you let me in on your plan this time. Oh, so lucky, baby. One would think that by now you'd know I'm a need-to-know basis kind of gal. But luckily, there's not much of a plan to talk about. You've done all the hard work during your meeting with Kara. You see, our job is easy. We need to get in, destroy the server containing all the double spiral reshots, and walk out. No spectacle, no dramatic showdowns. No, I know exactly what you're going to say. But wait, hold. If this data is so priceless, shouldn't she have external backups? Is Kara a complete dunce? Excellent question, my neonate friend. The answer is yes, she's a dunce. But aside from her numerous negative qualities, she also has a positive one. She's totally paranoid. She used to be a naive dumbass who wouldn't even cover up her laptop camera, but she lost trust in all external companies after a little cyber espionage incident. She's obsessed with not uploading her precious data anywhere online. Now she only has one physical backup, hidden deeper inside the headquarters. Nobody has an idea of where it might be, but I do. Normally I'd never be able to reach the place. Double Spiral is like an underground base. The walls and doors are reinforced both against the living and the dead. But the answer to this problem is simple. We only need Kara to lend us her voice so that we can override all the security measures and get to the heart of the facility. What do you say, Kara? Will you help your girl out for the old time's sake? Hope quickly writes something on her phone. A few seconds later, a nearly perfect imitation of Kara Montgomery's voice escapes her speaker. You know it. Let's bust this bitch open. Wow, the sound quality is incredible, and the voice sounds only the tiniest bit off. Whatever she paid for that tech, it was worth it. Oh, and if you're afraid of consequences from the Camarilla, don't be. I'm assuming full responsibility and my ass is covered. I've got some favors to collect and to offer. Besides, Kara's a goddamn snake, and everybody knows it. No important player will miss her influence. They were only tolerating her in case she hit it big with her tech. It's all about cash and abundance. Life's a bitch and then you die. Some parts sound a tiny bit too robotic. Could there be a pattern here? Yeah, titties. Too bad she won't ever get the chance to succeed. So, without further ado, shall we? I have a bad feeling about this. Hope starts marching toward the revolving door. You close your eyes, make an effort to sharpen your senses, and follow the Malkavian into the lobby of the double spiral building. There's a sole security guard at the entrance. He raises his voice to ask about your business, but is stopped short by Hope's commanding voice. No need, we're expected. The man looks lost and disoriented for a moment. Then the gears in his head slowly begin to turn, and he nods his head, silently opening a gate leading to the elevators. Hope heads into one of them and you follow. She presses a button and the car starts heading to the lowest floor. Eventually, the doors open. What? Dungeon Master Guide PDF. Welcome to Kara Montgomery's Deadly Dungeons, Solakium. What appear before your eyes are the dimly lit corridors of an IT office, empty and silent. The air is stiff and dusty, and there's a sharp, rotten stench in the air that you're unable to identify. The menacing atmosphere makes it hard to recognize at first, but this looks like an active workplace. It really is a dungeon, although a corporate one, where people are cheated of life. This environment feels alien to you. Well, since I'm supposed to be an artist, I guess so. But you know people who have relinquished the pretensions of being artists and started calling themselves content creators. That's how you imagine their workplaces. Let's just get to the first floor and test my little car out. You follow her until you reach the end of the corridor. There you encounter an expensive looking reinforced door with voice controls on the side. Hope pushes a button. A robotic voice comes out of the speaker. Semiotics. Seriously, come on! Hope types the word into her phone and lets virtual Kara repeat the password. Semiotics. A sound rings out, reminiscent of cues that TV quiz shows used to let the contestant know he gave a wrong answer. Verification error, please try again. You give Hope a nervous look. She bites her lip and presses the button again. Hyper real. Tap 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 tap. Hyper real. Access granted. The door slowly opens. You notice your companion is wearing a sour expression. Looks like the tech isn't quite perfect. At least the passwords seem randomized, so we can try and brute force our way in. Unless the system locks us out after a few failed attempts. She shakes her head and turns to you, her lips attempting to approximate a sincere smile. Well, we can only hope that the data you've collected is enough. Into the beast's maw we go. She marches into the room, and you walk in right after her. The doors lock behind you with a loud thud. It's a wide open office. It would be as murky as the corridor you just left if it wasn't for rows of monitors illuminating the space. A shadowy figure stares at every screen in the room. What the? But are these people vampires or something, because this is in the middle of the night? Kara's voice plays from Hope's speaker. Behold, this is where the magic happens. A family of driven folks hungry for success, always aching the bull by the horns, building a high-performance culture together. None of the figures raise their heads. They are too busy programming, organizing spreadsheets, and typing in endless strings of text. What's wrong with these guys? Don't worry, they're likely just a bunch of ghouls and whatnot. Hardworking, conditioned, tireless, low maintenance, kinda dumb. Perfect workers. Probably won't leave their seats unless we make them, but let's not. We've got more important things to do, like destroying a few years worth of their work. The figures don't stop pounding away on their keyboards. In fact, they don't react to her words at all. I guess maybe they are ghouls. Alrighty, so we go straight to the server room or do you want to check one of the side rooms first? Your call. I'd prefer to wrap things up here as fast as possible, but hey, little Kara's here with us thanks to the data you've gathered. Have a nice work time, day, evening. Bye bye. You betcha. If you think you can use her voice for something useful, hey, feel free to do it. You look around and think of how to respond. This seems dangerous. I think I'm not trusting the data enough. Let's just move. No, this is your show. Let's just get out of here as fast as we can. I hear you. This way. You follow Hope out of the room. Another depressing corridor, reeking of who knows what. You expect Hope to walk to the very end again, but this time she stops halfway and starts mumbling under her breath. Wait, was it this door or... Don't tell me she moved things around. It looks like she's been here before. Not a surprise in itself, but she gives off an impression of a person who used to know the entire layout of the building very well. After brief reflection, Hope approaches a door a few feet away and pushes the button next to it. Apocalypse. Well, that's cheery. Apocalypse. Access granted. You walk inside. At first glance, this office looks very similar to the last one you entered. Rows of screens and rows of listless silhouettes in front of them. However, Hope quickly spots a difference. But there are the same people here. Target confirmed. Moving to data room. There's a room with endless machines at the back of the open space. Hope walks in, takes out some hardware out of a bag she's carrying and begins the process of removing the data. Should have invested in SSDs. Sis. Time to bust out my portable degausser. She turns to you. This will take a good minute. I've got a few other tricks up my sleeve. If you find something that interests you, let me know. Should you wait near her or take a look around? I'd rather stay here. Who knows what might happen? Viruses, degaussed hard drives, some plain old boring vandalism. I hope you don't expect anything breathtaking to happen here. I don't, but I don't want to cause trouble either. You don't, and it doesn't. You spent most of the following 30 minutes gazing at the dead-eyed ghoul and his screen next to you. When Hope is nearly done with her digital mischief, an error message appears on the ghoul's screen. He tries to fight it for a while, but it's futile. So he just slumps down, resigned. Just like me at work. A while passes. Finally, you hear a triumphant yell. Gold's in the shell. Ah. Oh, done, baby. Looks like those boys are finally getting to get a break. You realize that the constant silent rhythm of the mechanical keyboards has stopped. The workers are all idling, slumped over their desks, completely resigned to the fact their raisoned edge has disappeared. Hope hurriedly collects her hardware and motions you to follow after her. Alright, we're almost done. Now we just need to take care of the backups and we can get the hell away from here. You take a last glance at the ghouls and follow her steps. Yet another corridor, hardly discernible from the previous ones. This is a giant underground complex. How much money has Montgomery spent on it? Hope looks around, frowning, mumbling something indecipherable. Eventually, she points in front of her. There! This is where she must keep her backups. It's a sturdy metal door, unlike any other in this building. Right next to it, however, is a voice-based security system you know pretty well by now. Please, 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 just no last-second surprises. She hesitates to do it, but eventually she pushes the button. No. Eternal return. Hope dutifully types down the term on her phone. Eternal return. Access denied. Please try again. Hope hisses under her breath. This time you push the button. Double spiral. Tap tap tap. Double spiral. You feel like time has frozen. For whatever reason, it takes longer than usual for the speaker to deliver the verdict. Access granted. I have a bad feeling about this. What a relief! The metal doors grind loudly as they invite you in. This time, you walk in first, and Hope follows. Wait a minute. You recognize this place. It shouldn't be here, but there are no two ways about it. This is Hope's heaven. Same bed, same decorations, same ambience. It's all a lot more dusty, but the backups are in the back. I'll just get 'em. She seems a little sheepish as she approaches the double spiral devices and unpacks her own hardware to take care of them. You take in your surroundings. Oh, so it's like that, huh? I understand everything now. Hope sighs. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out by now. She looks at you as if she was about to add something, then bites her tongue and gets back to destroying her rival's life. She makes it obvious she doesn't want to re-examine her past. You rest against the bed, quietly watching Hope's technological wizardry and wondering about her past relationship with Kara for who knows how long. Every second you spend here, you become more impatient to get out. Eventually, the devices surrounding the double spiral backups start disappearing into the bag they were taken out of. Looks like the process is nearing completion. You decide to approach the door before it does. However, before you even make a move, the doors begin to make a grinding noise. You freeze up, watching them open. Behind them stands the very person you were afraid would appear. That's the punk t-shirt you hoped you would avoid seeing tonight. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Hope raises her head and their eyes meet. Both of their faces momentarily turn to stone. Oh. You could pick out any emotion from their stares, and you'd probably be right. An unbearable tension fills the room as nobody wants to make the first move. Eventually, it's Hope who decides to break the stalemate by loudly pressing the enter button on her laptop and immediately dropping it into her back. You doubt it's anything more than a provocation, the Malkavian letting her opponent know she won. But it works. The noise makes Montgomery snap out of her stupor. You psycho! You fucking demented, vindictive psycho! The air turns thick with murderous intent. Hi! Hope pretends she hasn't noticed. Kara's bloodthirst becomes palpable. You were supposed to be on the other side of the city right now? At the meeting? I am notified about every failed voice authentication attempt. I got back here, expecting to find some idiot still trying to make their way through the front. She looks around. but I never expected. Just how? Hope reluctantly types something down on her phone. I'm the CEO of Double Spiral, and I endorsed wrecking my shit. Kara grimaces at the sound of her own voice and quickly connects the dots. You fucking gremlin. How did you get your hands on that kind of thing? Even I... Company secret. Hope's provoking her. No two ways about it. Kara knows it, so she's trying to keep it cool. I built this paradise for you. For us. For yourself and nobody else. What happened to the Hope I used to know? She can't come to the phone right now. She's dead. I regret the day I let you into my life. Stop lying to yourself, Kara. You only regret the day you let me out of my life. Shouldn't have let your mask slip, honey. A snappish response almost escapes Kara's mouth, but she manages to stop herself before letting the discussion devolve into a childish spat. Just tell me there's a copy of my data you haven't ruined and I'll let you out of here alive. She gives you a hateful look. Both of you. Hope tilts her head and flashes an evil ear-to-ear grin. Not a single bit of data remains. More than a decade of your work down the drain. Welcome to the worst night of your life since the .com crash, Miss Montgomery. Kara looks as if a stake was just driven through her heart. She starts to collapse, sliding down against the door, like she was sinking deeper and deeper into her personal hell. Hope just stares at her torment, wearing an indecipherable expression, waiting for her rival to reach the floor. Then she does, and there, at the lowest point of her life, she finds something unexpected. I never wanted to do this. This is not me. Her voice sounds completely different. But if there is only one way out of this mess, I'm going to take it. I'm going to get my data back. Hope looks confused for a second. Then an understanding dawns on her. Come on, Kara. You wouldn't dare. You started this game. Now accept your loss. The game isn't over until all players out of moves, honey. Baring your fangs now. There are two of us against one, even if you connect the sin of diablerie, which is drinking all the vita out of a vampire, which of course kills the vampire that is drunk, that you drink from, but it also kind of can give you the memories of that vampire, and yeah. The last time something like this happened to me, I was ready to die. I think I'll take my chances. It's not like I haven't dreamed about feeling my fangs inside you for a long, long time. So, you want to give me this one victory? Prove once and for all that I was right. It was never about me, but about all this stupid garbage in my head. A victory. Please, victories are material. They aren't like your little online arguments. She's serious about this Solarium. She wants to devour me as a whole, sacrifice her humanity in exchange for access to my soul and everything I know. Stay away, Solakium. You want money, data, domain privileges, position at Double Spiral, anything you want. You can get it if you just look the other way. What the? No way. Don't listen to this shit. The moment the prince finds out, it's final death for... And Kara runs, her moves resembling a beast more than human, immediately closing the distance to Hope. Then she jumps at the Malkavian like a wild animal hunting her prey. Hope instinctively attempts to defend herself, but is immediately overwhelmed. Laying on the ground, she looks like a deer in the headlights. Kara, on the other hand, looks like a bear ready to maul its victim. If you want to react, you need to do it now. You push yourself to the limit and let your powers take over. The world slows down, letting you run up to Kara and Hope in the blink of an eye. You immediately grab Montgomery by her clothes and attempt to yank her aside. However, the moment she recognizes your touch, she immediately attempts to swat you down. Despite your superhuman speed, she's still almost as quick as you. Her limbs keep zooming wildly towards your vital areas. You dodge every one of them, but each time feels like narrowly jumping out of the way of an oncoming truck. You back away. Better try something different before she gets lucky and hits you. In this kind of situation, what can you do? I'm going to look around. I'm going to risk it. Wait. There's no point just rushing in blindly. Kara's like a feral animal right now. You don't wrestle with those. You use tools to overwhelm them. You look at Hope's back. Could any of her devices help? No. Why in hell? Think harder. You look at the bed, the pillows, the canopy. Hooks hanging down from the ceiling. Bingo. You grab one of the hooks and yank the chain. It's long enough for your idea to work. You run up to Kara, who's about to maul Hope like a wild animal. Then you stab her with all your strength. The hook gets deep underneath her skin. Kara yells, but there's more surprise than pain in her voice. You quickly wrap the chain around her a few times. Then you step back and start pulling it with all your strength. Kara's taken by a surprise, still not understanding what's going on. She loses her balance and gives her victim a chance to escape. Hope takes it, still dazed. She takes a second to understand the situation, but when she does, she runs up to you and starts pulling the chain with you. You'd never handle her alone, but Hope displays a surprising strength while pulling the chain. A minute later, she's hanging above the floor like a butcher's carcass. The end of the hook is stuck in her chest, and it's sinking deeper as she struggles. However, she's flailing so wildly she might free herself before it puts her out of commission. You use one hand to desperately search for something that can help you under the bed. Belts, handcuffs, a whip, a giant cattle prod. You have no time to act bemusedly. You put it to her head and turn it on. The device must be modified. The power current is so powerful it causes scarring almost immediately. She's getting weaker and weaker. I don't know how to make those noises. She's shouting, screaming. It takes Kara a while to accept defeat, but eventually she does. Her body seeming lifeless, her head hanging down, She looks like a grotesque portrait of defeat. The hook must have reached her heart. It takes Hope a long time to collect herself. Eventually, she manages to speak up. Guess we've gotten up to this point, huh? Just like Kara before, Hope starts to talk in a completely different way than she usually does. You have a bad feeling about this. You want to add my data to yours. You know, I can grant your wish, except not the way you imagined it. Hope starts mumbling and circling around Kara. For the first time since you've met her, she acts like she doesn't have her phone in her hand. This violent aura. The Malkavian looks deeply into your eyes, and she knows you know what she's tempted to do. You silently beg for her not to do it. It doesn't feel right. So she's going to drink her. How interesting. She makes a decision. She smiles beautifully, and it feels purposefully fake. Be my witness. I haven't harmed her. You left her here with me, and you have no idea what happened next. Her voice is still changed from what you're used to. She's not having fun. She's driven by malice. I've disabled the security, so you're free to leave now. Call me whenever you need me. I'm part of your coterie now, so I'll repay my debts, or whatever. You give her a suspicious glare. It doesn't faze her, though. I've still got some unfinished business here. She turns to Kara's listless body. A puppet is dangling sadly by a single thread. It wouldn't be smart of you to leave. It would be smart of you to leave. Her tone makes it clear she's not willing to discuss anything. Your relationship is strictly professional. You sigh, shrug your shoulders, and head out the way you came from. The lights of New York welcome you above ground. See you soon, Hope. Hope you don't get into trouble. You try to celebrate the new addition to your coterie, but Kara's face appears before your eyes over and over again, making your victory bittersweet. Oh, I have a pal. And I guess it's resting time again. Maybe I will be able to make Mr. Wizard my pal as well, but not yet, I suppose. It's daytime, sleep time, and in the evening you arrive at the leech pit, finding it less rowdy than the last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead, the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar as the bartender finishes pouring beer for an older guy in a faded, fraying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you. What can I get you? I was told to ask about Mia at the bar. Yeah, well, she's not in tonight. She looks you up and down, and a spark of recollection shines in her eye. Oh yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter. Some kind of YA vampire novel? Anne flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. They want to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the leech pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer, sent here to spy on us by the camp. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. It doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. He sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty on his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. Let's charm him. The man immediately notices you, but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. When you focus the plot to boost your attractiveness, it's not just Bruce who notices. He's into you. So are other people doing double takes as they pass your table. That wasn't my intention. Hey you, have I seen you here before? I don't think so. It's my first night here. Hey, I'm lucky. I'm here tonight then. I know you're here because somebody asked you to spy on this place. It'd make me really happy if you gave me their name. What do you mean, Sam? He catches himself, realizes what you're doing. His eyes dart over your shoulder. You thought you had him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table in one smooth move and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up to him outside. He's balding, all right. Throwing caution to the wind, you focus your blood and give chase after Bruce. He might be faster than a human, but his abilities are a fraction of yours. He dashes into a nearby alley, and you follow suit. Before he can jump the fence, you tackle him to the ground. A short brawl later, you are standing a few meters apart, Bruce eyeing you with hatred. Listen, your cover is blown. I was told who you are. You better come clean. Your master's name. That is all I need. Bullshit. Besides, she'd kill me if I told you. And I quite like being alive. Here's the deal. You tell me your master's name and you save yourself a world of hurt. Unless you want to exit this alley on a stretcher, you'd better... whack. Bruce doesn't wait for you to finish talking. He jumps at you, kicking and punching with dizzying speed. It takes you by surprise and he puts you on the defensive. Just as you're about to retaliate, he breaks away, jumps the fence at the end of the alley and is gone into parts of the city unknown. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note to the other side. Sam. And you know it's a she. That still leaves a lot of options. You could pull a name out of your ass or let Mia figure it out. I wouldn't know what it is. Samantha sounds very likely, but I don't want to guess. Mia asked you for a name, but if all you have is a fragment and the gender, it'll have to do. You jot down a note. Bruce referred to his master as Sam and called her she. You pass the piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book. Hold 1 second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. Alright, and this. An old charger for the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. It takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find that its phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake though. The bartender is already over at the other end of the domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anak contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, your educated guesses based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for Mia to call you. I suppose. Let's go. The final confrontation between Agathon and Juno is getting near, and Aisling Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs in New York, is impatient to see its results. Well, we gotta help our wizard. So that we can get him for us in our coterie. We already have hope. And if we also have Agathon, I'm sure we can handle a lot of stuff. You're in your haven when someone knocks on your front door. Puzzled, you open it. Agathon stands in the hallway expectantly, as if the 10 seconds it took for you to come to the door was an impossible imposition. How's your grandma? Is everything okay with her? Agathon looks at you in obvious surprise. Yes, she's fine. Juno didn't go back. Thank you for asking. You follow Agathon down the street, wondering what kind of revelations tonight will hold. So far, Agathon's rituals haven't been successful at locating the research notes, but you've learned a lot about the Tremere and Agathon himself. This time I've got it. The problem is, when an old vampire disappears, even from our clan, we are so secretive that it's hard for us to find out what they were up to. Agathon's car is parked at the curb. You get in, and he starts to drive. You may have guessed that the notes we're looking for belong to an old member of our house. The problem is that we need them to continue her research. Well, I wonder if he would tell me. I want to know. I think it's time you told me what these notes are about. What are you researching? Maybe I can tell you something. Animal blood is disgusting, right? Technically we can subsist on it, but it tastes vile. We are doomed to hunt humans for blood. The question is, can this be changed? For a moment, Agathon starts to sound excited until he suddenly goes silent. Perhaps he is embarrassed at revealing even this much to you. You're getting used to sitting in Agathon's car in silence. He drives. You look out the window, back to Queens. Eventually, you roll up to an industrial area called Village Point. It doesn't really look like a place where a blood sorcerer would hang out. Agathon parks in front of a car repair shop that looks like it has seen better days. There are huge puddles of water on the road and the car wrecks strewn about.
Better be quick. If I can find this place, so can you, Juno.
You look around to see if someone is observing you, but there doesn't seem to be any people about. And why would there be? Who would hang around at a place like this at night? Agathon tries the front door of the repair shop, then circles around to the back. You follow him. There's a broken window in the back protected by iron bars. Agathon grabs them and gives them a quick shake. The entire iron grill comes off. Startled, Agathon lowers it to the ground.
I suppose someone else has already broken in, and didn't want to leave an obvious point of entry.
You and Agathon climb inside through the window. It's awkward, but not difficult. Looking around, you realize that the repair shop has been abandoned for some time. It looks like homeless people have stayed here in the past, but nobody is currently squatting on the premises. You try a light switch, but nothing happens.
You know the drill. I'll do the ritual in the office. Make sure there are no interruptions.
Agathon makes his way to the repair shop's office, a slightly cleaner area than the rest of the building. He begins the ritual in the dark. Bored, you start shifting through the papers left on the office desk. Old shift records, invoices, ads, nothing from the last decade. Huh. There's a small TV on the desk, probably from the 90s. Looking closer, you realize there's a post-it note on the middle of the TV screen. You take it. It reads, Loser, Juno. Agathon stops gesturing.
They're not here. How is that possible?
You show him the post-it note. He takes it and looks it over, as if suspecting it might hide a devious trick.
Fuck. She has the notes. And she had the cloth. We have to go.
It feels like you've spent a lot of time recently hurrying after Agathon as he walks briskly in and out of buildings and to his car. He starts the car as you close the door.
We have to go to her heaven and get the notes. There's no time to waste.
Despite the urgency of his words, Agathon drives as carefully as ever. It seems that only a threat to his grandmother is enough to make him drive recklessly. What do we do with her? Is she an enemy?
Let's not be hasty. I'm sure we can talk this through.
Agathon doesn't sound too convinced.
Juno's heaven is in Brooklyn, in a waterfront warehouse.
Agathon drives south to Brooklyn. This is one of the advantages of being undead. Moving at night, traffic is much lighter than if you wanted to zoom around the 5 boroughs during rush hour. Hi, Tex and Andre. It's been a stressful week. I had a migraine yesterday, so I couldn't stream, but I wanted to. And I'm also busy tomorrow. And I also DM'd some Dungeons and Dragons to my co-workers on Thursday. So, busy. What about you? Things are good, but busy. And well, yesterday wasn't so good, but today is good. Parking the car, Agathon points to a light coming from an otherwise dark yellow brick warehouse. I hope you get good sleep.
That's her. Let's go in.
Well, Agathon wanted to talk. No time to get fancy. You go to the front door of the warehouse. That's awful to hear. I hope your life gets better. The door has glass panes, so you can see the inside of the warehouse. There are candles and an ornate ring of occult symbols covering the entire floor. Juno is sitting in the middle with an enamel wash basin in front of her and is peering into it. You try to listen, but it's difficult without making yourself conspicuous at the pain. I think this game is getting closer to the end. I read somewhere that it's like just 16 nights long, and we are already at like 14th or 15th night. I'm not quite sure which one. 14th probably. So the end is nigh. After I finish this game, I'm planning to do some art streams and maybe some other smaller game. But after that I'm going to play some Pathfinder Kingmaker. That's supposed to be a very long game, so I also need to prepare for that properly before I start it.
We have to talk to her.
Agathon tries to break down the door by ramming into it with his shoulder. It's flimsy and breaks with surprisingly little effort. How was Juno supposed to sound like? Agathon, just in time!
Juno, you have to stop. Hand me the notes.
Oh, Agathon, you're such an idiot. This is beyond you now. I'll give you one last chance. Come with me. Forget Aisling and her power games. Join me, and you can become your own man.
What?
Agathon seems genuinely flabbergasted at this suggestion. Who's your contact, Juno? Who were you talking to? Juno smiles at you. That's a good question. I guess Aisling Sturbridge doesn't go around trumpeting the fact that the old hierarchy doesn't hold monopoly on Tremere power anymore. There are other forces out here, and I'll join them. Juno picks up a bulging old folder from a chair inside the ritual circle. If this dumbass has any brains, he'll join me.
No, not for the clan, but for my family, my real family.
Juno sighs. She doesn't look surprised at Agathon's refusal to come with her. I would have felt badly if I hadn't offered you the chance.
Come back to the chantry with me, Juno. Talk to Aisling. You'll see that this is not a good idea.
You glance at Agathon with concern. You are no sorcerer, but fighting Juno in the middle of her ritual circle doesn't seem like a good idea. Have nice popcorns. 2 words. Fuck you. Please, just give us the notes. We won't stop you from leaving. Juno's shoulders slump. I'm tired of the fight. I'm tired of having to bust my ass for some asshole like Aisling. I want a new life, away from all this crap. Juno weighs the folder in her hand. Maybe I should just give this to you. She walks toward you, and you put your hand on the folder, but by then, Juno's eyes brighten with realization. You fucker! You manipulating me! She slaps your face, and you feel as if your insides have suddenly caught fire. Ouch! You open your mouth, but no sound comes out. Sorry about the auto mod, but since I'm scared of spammers and stuff like that, I have to have it. Finally, you focus on the feeling of Agathon's hand on your shoulder, and you realize you lie sprawled on the floor.
Are you alright? Can you speak?
The pain is receding, but you feel like shit, hurting all over and barely able to walk. It'll take a lot of blood to mend from this state. Agathon supports you as you walk back. He's smiling. You notice the folder under his arm. How did he do that?
She got away, but I have the notes. I'm sorry you got hurt, but it was worth it.
Well, for you, maybe. I didn't want to get hurt. Worth it? You tell him a thing or two about your view of the situation, but your tongue is momentarily a lump of charcoal in your mouth. You sit in silence as Agathon drives you back to Manhattan. Traffic in the small hours is mercifully slight. You consider your next words. What should I tell him? Or ask him? I would really like to know what's in the notes, but maybe he says no. I'm sorry, my accent makes many words sound weird, I'm sure. Now that we have the notes, any chance I can have a look at them? Agathon smirks.
Sure, knock yourself out.
I probably won't understand anything, but I still would like to see. You almost can't believe it. Finally, you will gain access to one of the Tremere's arcane secrets. You open the folder. The pages are all blank. No. Why?
I shouldn't joke at your expense after all you've done, but I just couldn't help myself. Only a special ritual will reveal the inscriptions, and they are probably written in a cipher anyway.
Emoting is so difficult. Another ritual, of course. Do the warlocks have one for everything? The thought is almost enough for you to become oblivious to the fact that Agathon's cracked a joke. Almost. You reach the occult bookstore. After Agathon parks the car, you head inside. You climb to the second floor to find Aisling Sturbridge waiting for you. She looks surprisingly casual for someone with such power. You have good news, I hope.
Yes, we have the notes.
Agathon hands over the folder. Aisling Sturbridge caresses the cover with obvious joy. Excuses, excuses. Wonderful. You did not disappoint. What of Juno?
We were not able to stop her. She escaped.
Well, no matter, Agathon. You proved yourself yet again. And so lucky. Looks like the pyramid has a good friend in you. She's a vampire. She's a very powerful vampire. She's like the boss of the warlock vampires in this city. You nod, not saying anything. Agathon looks relieved. You leave the bookstore with praise ringing in your ears. Even the taciturn Agathon manages a smile. You have no idea what will happen with the notes, but you feel that you have reached an understanding with Agathon. Perhaps that's enough in this world of backstabbing and betrayal that you now inhabit. The hunger calls to you. A face on the night street of New York catches your eye. You cannot look away. You were supposed to be doing something else, but what that was exactly doesn't matter now. Sheer beauty, a face, no, a person to die for. You follow them, get close enough to almost smell them, almost taste them. Yes, they must taste like heaven. You could ask them to share, or you could just take their blood. They wouldn't say no, right? Why would they? You are their biggest admirer. So what if people are looking? So what if the whole world learns what you are? It's worth it. Oh no. You compose yourself, your rational mind fearing a blatant breach of the masquerade temporary hold over the beast and its compulsions. It won't last unless you feed. You need to quench this hunger before your passion forces you over the edge. How do I do it? I need to have blood. I'm so hungry. Where's my blood? A piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. It's morning again. Wait, evening again. It's a computer printout, a note, and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads: Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up, and we'll take it from there. Well, I agree, Aisling looked really nice, but I'm sure she would have a lot of uses for your blood other than just drinking it. No signature. The place marked on the map is the lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. The hunger calls to you. A face on the night streets of New York catches your eye. You cannot look away. You were supposed to be doing something else, but what that was exactly doesn't matter now. Blood. You're talking about blood, and I'm so hungry for blood right now. Sheer beauty, a face, no a person to die for. You follow them, get close enough to almost smell them, almost taste them. Yes, they must taste like heaven. You could ask them to share, or you could just take their blood. They wouldn't say no, right? Why would they? You are their biggest admirer. So what if people are looking? So what if the whole world learns what you are? It's worth it. You compose yourself, your rational mind fearing a blatant breach of the Masquerade's temporary hold over the beast and its compulsions. It won't last unless you feed. Wait, what? Do we drink a cup of blood every day to give the Dracula away? What do you mean? You need to quench this hunger before your passions forces you over the edge. Yeah, I need to eat. Where's my food? The hunger calls to you. Yes, it's still so much hunger. Is this bugged? Why do I get... What? I can't do anything except rest. Again. I see. Well, I'm too hungry to do anything, I guess. I hope I fed. Waking up tonight feels different, for two reasons. For one, you are pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. It comes with a caveat though. The hunger you feel is pronounced, the beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision following you. But what is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling on the phone. You got from Mia. You pick up. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe some of the Tremere vampires would know. Too bad I can't ask them. Get that old thing charged after all, huh? You're right. No, actually, I feel like shit. Look, that's too bad, but I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Talk has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in the Bronx, Solids and Stripes. Be there tonight. Two things. No drinking on the premises, so if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the borough. And this is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening, and also we don't trust you, so keep it casual or you blow it. Anything you'd like to add? Wait, what? Callahan forbade me from meeting Talk? I don't think I've talked with Callahan. Yeah, I'm going to bite everyone. I'm so hungry. We should expect company, maybe that's it. Wait, but I didn't meet Callahan. What is this? We should expect company. I met Callahan yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbade me from meeting Talk. Said he'd keep an eye out to make sure I comply. Silence on the line. Fuck! More silence. I can't promise you any protection on your way there or back, but at the pub you'll be in Talk's domain. For all this posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Talk directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callahan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I've got to say is the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I won't blame you. But it's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You made with us tonight. It better be in good faith. She ends the call. First things first, you take the subway to York Street Station, walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. If I could, I would have that snack now. You've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kinds of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems and in this cloak and dagger debacle you're now a part of, that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight, a fragment of your surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them and drink from them, you find you've forgotten their face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once you look at yourself in your car's rear view window. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your own humanity and not let yourself slide down this spiral. Whose blood would I want? I would want some delicious blood. Who would have the most delicious blood? Kids? I think kids would probably have delicious blood. So fresh and pure. I'd eat children, if possible. Instead of clearing your mind, this clouded it further, and you are still no closer to a decision. I probably wouldn't actually eat children because they have so little blood and I would leave a trail of bodies behind me so easily. So it would have to do maybe some very fit people. I would prey on people going to the gym, maybe. No. No, don't tell Van Helsing. It feels hopeless. Callahan knows you'll be seeking Talk out. Somebody left that note at your apartment, so they know where you spend your days. It's all too risky. Yeah. If they have a lot of body mass, they probably also have a lot of blood. That's a good idea. But I think fit people would taste more delicious because they probably take care of themselves better. Maybe they eat like very well. Lots of fruit. Must be sweet. Or maybe I should, I don't know, maybe vegans. They at least should eat a lot of fruit. Sophie will have to come up with another plan, or just do it her own damn self. You stop at her haven, not looking forward to the conversation you're about to have. Sophie is not home when you arrive. You wait for her impatiently, all the while considering whether this is the best course of action. When she does come in, a good hour after you arrived, she is all smiles and warmth. Solakium, good evening. How is your task going? You have something for me, perhaps? I would want something like candy in my diet, but if I was a vampire, I probably wouldn't be able to eat it, so I think people who eat fruit would probably taste most delicious. Things got complicated. Sophie, things got complicated. I don't want to meet with Thor. The warm atmosphere immediately grows colder, as does Sophie's demeanor. I thought I made a clear request of you. What do you mean? You don't want to meet him? Listen, Callahan's goons grabbed me yesterday and forced me to meet him. He was very clear that I cannot be seen talking to Thor, or he'll have me killed. Nothing of the sort happened. I was just hungry. Or was I just too hungry to notice anything? What the... Oh. Something like pity appears in her eyes for just a moment. She looks at you, disappointed and sad. Then her features sharpen. I understand your concern. Nevertheless, I would ask you to continue, even if it's risky. The only way I'm doing this is if you offer me some protection. I do protect you, every night. My reputation in this city allowed me to save you from the Princess Decree, and continues to keep you safe. This is how you repay me? I guess it was a mistake to come here. You do not understand how much depends on you making contact with Thor, and how important it is that I don't do it in person. It brings me no joy to remind you, but I still hold the right of destruction over you. If I have to call on it to make you do my bidding, I will. Flicky. I thought we had an understanding. I thought we were developing a partnership here. I did as well. I was under the impression you agreed to follow my requests. You were doing so well too. Suddenly, Sophie's demeanor changes entirely. Although her features do not shift, she is now a source of fear for you. She is grim, determined, and seems utterly impossible to negotiate with. You will leave now and go back to the task at hand. You will not return until you have set up the meeting. Do I make myself clear? I guess it's either death by her hands or a slight chance to live. I'm a weakling. I'm not saying that. Yes, Sophie. Good. And Solakium, do it quickly. Time is running out. If it does, you will be of no more use to me. There will probably be violence that's done on me. That final threat hits hard. You take your leave quickly, eager to get away from Sophie's terrifying presence. You relax a bit in the car, but are still certain that you must obey her. It's that or your life. Well, let's go to the meeting. Dangerous or not, you have to make the trip to the Bronx and meet with Talk. No detours. Best just get it over with. You take some basic precautions as you enter Talk's turf. You park a few streets over from where the pub is and walk towards it, while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. That kindred, for the most part, look no different than regular people, makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final glance around. There's nobody suspicious around, as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it, a constant fog hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clicking of glasses tells all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place after all. You're wondering if you got the address right. You apparently did. Mia is here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around. Took you sweet time to get here. What? Got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you? Not that I know of. Fair enough. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You didn't prove very helpful at the bar. Carol, the bartender, mentioned that you made an effort, but as you can imagine, there are plenty of cliques who use feminine pronouns in this city. Still, I'll take whatever I can get. So thanks for that, I guess. Come on, Thog's right here. You walk toward one of the tables. A guy in a coat and hat leans over, take his shot. He's way ahead of his opponent. The table is clear of his balls, save for the 8 ball in a tricky position. Hey there. Hey, they are here. So is that dog? Be with you in just a moment. The hit is fast, precise, and sends the black ball exactly where its player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. Yes, he does. That's that. I believe that's $150 American, Joey. You wanna pay up now or up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victor go the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns his full attention to you. The man is good looking, if somewhat calm and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through to your core, but not in an unpleasant way. Name's Talk. I believe you're so lucky. Sophie Langley's new plaything. Is that right? That's right. That's right. Yeah, Mia told me as much. Forgive me being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know who it is I'm dealing with. So, here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're with Langley and Langley's cam, true and true, I'm told, what is it you've come to accomplish here tonight? Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why. She didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange this meeting. The fuck? I knew nothing about this. They lied to me. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you went straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well. Ain't that an interesting proposition? You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline Cam. It's a trap. It must be. Yeah, it might be. It just might be. It just might. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens at the back of the room. Who's that?
Hey, Thor, you all got a guest. There in the back. Mia, won't you be dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is.
Sure thing. Thog tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glowers at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she has half a mind to chuck it at your face. You gotta be quite happy with yourself, bluffing your way in here. It might have started as a task from Sophie, but I'm glad I could meet you and talk. Don't hold it against me, please. Take me instead. I don't want to work for Sophie anymore. No, I'm totally going to hold it against you. And for a while, you made me look like a chump in front of Thog. Here I was beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Too bad. Thog appears from a door at the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Solakium, get over here too. You go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there are 5 other people in there with you. Thog ushers you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears. Familiar voice? I haven't seen that guy ever. Who's that? Who is this? Motherfuckers, gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is going to fuck you up so bad, you have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Solakium? I never saw him. Why? Somehow my hunger skipped a day, I guess. Really, there's a bug. Yeah, we met yesterday. Really? I was too hungry to notice. You're fucked. You're so fucked, you don't even know it. You stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf. Go fuck yourself, you're done. The boss will know this stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means, talk. Yeah, he does. No, I don't.
What does it mean, Vince? No, the boss can wipe you out. He'll just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all those buddies of yours gone. You're done, dog. Well, no, if that's the case, I guess ridding New York City of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, there's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Solak? You want to repay the favor? It's your turf, dog. I think you should deal with him. That's a fair point of view. He takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee. Hold him down, bros. Don't you fucking do it, dog. Don't! Dog takes the sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. Take him downstairs. Let's keep Callahan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. I'll figure out what to do with that cum guzzle later. The other two anarchs who held Vince down before take him out of the room. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callahan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Solakium? It was a second Inquisition effort here in New York City, a single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before, or since. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Us though, we got hit hard. All our town. Havens were rooted out. Entire coteries and safe houses gone. Just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently but surely. Others, like my Childebarb, or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Callahan. We've thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B managed to excuse himself from the Staten Island Museum where we used to meet just before vans full of guys in body armor show up? How is it that as my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds, I also see Duke Callahan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI? We think the bastard knew what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us. Some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in this city's league population. The moral of the story? Callahan is an opportunistic motherfucker. And if even his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell them out, then that's what he's going to do, as sure as the sun rises. He pauses for a moment and you see him reach a decision. You said something about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault, in part, that I am at this juncture, but now's going to be as good a time as any to listen what she has to say. I don't think that's wise, Dee. Well, what would you have me do then? You said it yourself. It's all these fledglings' fault. They brought this on us. So let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callahan wants them, Langley needs them. They are valuable. I'm not valuable. What is she talking about? No. No, you're wrong. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me here. Plausible deniability and all that. I'm expendable. The realization that you just summarized the entirety of the last 2 weeks
or so hits you hard. But if there was a moment to be honest with yourself, it's now. Fuck! The man puts his hand on Mia's shoulder. She calms down a bit. We're afraid, Solakium, but then what else is new? It's a paradox being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunted another. Masters of the night, slaves to dawn. A duality to everything. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Well, unless you die, Mr. Talk. Count on it. He smiles, then takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up, personally, and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting. The 2 of you, the 2 of us, nobody else. And third, the meeting is in public, downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy. We check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that though. You seem likable enough. The cam hasn't gotten its talents in you yet. Keep it up and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. That's right, he really looks like Snoop Dogg. Oh, by the way, there's that one vampire movie that I think Snoop Dogg was in it, and I've seen it. What was it? I don't remember its name, but it was a silly vampire movie. And he was acting in it. I'll make sure to repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best be on your way. Ask me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Mia walks you to the door and accompanies you to your car. Listen, about what I said before. Yeah, what about it? I panicked, that's all that was. It was unfair what I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry at myself, and that makes me angry at you. He was in one of the scary movies, huh? But that's not the vampire movie. Forget it. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the news. The fear you felt when you left the apartment might not be there anymore, but the atmosphere is still frigid when Sophie addresses you upon entering. Tell me you have something for me. You nod. She brightens up, just a little, more like sun rays of glistening on frost than the radiance you know she's capable of. Well, let's hear it. What did Thork agreed? You relay the Anarch leader's conditions. You are to pick him and Mia up. The meeting should only include the 4 of you, and it should be held in a public space. Fine. I would ask that you pick them up tomorrow. How about Hudson Yards, the top of the vessel? Meet me there after midnight. I'll be waiting for you, but do try to be on time. Listen, there might be some trouble from Callahan? Callahan. One of his goons was caught spying on Talk. He probably wasn't alone. You have to watch yourself then. Callahan will not dare act against me. You, on the other hand, he already proved that's not a concern of his. We must meet with Talk, so stay vigilant. Yeah, that's the one. Vampire movie. It's a funny movie. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. I'm counting on you, Solakium. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way to its destination. After that, we all get our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. After all fashion. Use the rest of this night well and take a good rest. We are but a day's leap away from shaking this city awake. I think it would be fitting to go and consider my existence. You started to look at churches differently since your last encounter with Benoit. You're not sure what happened inside, but it was unavoidably real. You felt it. When Benoit mentioned that being in the presence of Father Anthony's fate would eventually kill someone like you, an undead being, you believed him. It doesn't seem to be very common though. In New York, you pass thousands of people every night, and none of them have made you feel so afraid and insignificant. If you were to encounter someone like Father Anthony in the subway or a nightclub, you would know. There are many churches in the 5 boroughs, and you're pretty sure most of them don't contain someone whose fate can touch you in this way. Yet you become wary. They just might. Still, tonight the cathedral looks as before, a striking landmark, acting as a symbol of faith for people who have no idea that vampires exist in their midst. For them, questions of faith and myth are theoretical or philosophical. For you, those same questions suddenly define the meaning of your new existence. You sneak into the cathedral like an old hand, as if going to church had been a regular part of your life. Inside, the cathedral is almost deserted. You're not sure if you'll be meeting Benoit alone. The idea of feeling Father Anthony's fate on your undead flesh freezes you with terror. Benoit is waiting for you in the front pews of the cathedral, in the exact same spot where you saw Father Anthony. Worried, you approach, but you don't feel the touch of faith that shook you before. Benoit nods as you sit down next to him in the pew. I don't like this Benoit, but I guess a lot of kindred are worried about what we really are. You can walk away. Many of our kind choose to live in ignorance of what it really means to be damned. You've had some time to think. I'm guessing you found the touch of Father Anthony's fate hard to ignore. For most people, God's presence is a question of faith. When I talk with Father Anthony, it feels like proof. Benoit is fervent, intense as he speaks. It's clear these questions have consumed his existence. Perhaps they'll consume yours too. Even if if we don't believe, this is kindred culture. Our shared stories about where we came from, right? That's one way to look at it. All religions can be reduced to cultural myths, if you are so inclined. Personally, I think the reality of our condition proves that this is more than a myth. Benoit looks around reflexively to make sure nobody is listening. There are only few people in the enormous cathedral, and they don't seem to be interested in two loners murmuring to each other in the front pew. And you know, it's like maybe like 3 a.m. It might seem like ancient history, things that happened thousands of years ago, but time works differently for our kind. If the stories are true, there are Methuselah still in existence who walked the earth when Jesus was alive. The only problem is that old vampires lie. They adjust history to suit their egos. Shouldn't we focus on what we can verify here and now? Our blood, the effects of Father Anthony's belief. I suppose that would be the scientific approach. Still, I can't let go of the idea that the old stories will tell us something. This is how the story goes. God cursed Cain as punishment for the murder of Abel. Cain walked the night shunned by humanity and drank blood to sustain himself. Even from the point of our origin, we are damned. However, the story becomes really interesting when we move forward. Cain creates more of our kind, often referred to as the second generation. They lived in the first city, later called Enoch, ruling openly over the city's human inhabitants. I see the first city as Cain's redemption. Cursed by God to wander, he remade himself as a ruler and lawgiver, acting as an immortal shepherd to humanity. It only started to go wrong when the second generation begat the third, and vampires started to run amok. So the third generation, also known as the Antediluvians, who founded the great vampire clans. You can trace a direct lineage of blood to the Antediluvian of your clan. We know much more about them than we know about the second generation. After the first city, Cain largely departs the story. Perhaps he was disheartened by the depredations of his descendants. The Antediluvians went on to build a second city in imitation of the first, but it's doubtful their rule was just. There are people moving in the cathedral, and both of you and Benoit have made sure none get close enough to hear you talk. As Benoit goes on, your undead senses detect something that deviates from the normal hubbub of the devout mortals, cathedral workers, and tourists. You hear the squeaking wheels of an old wheelchair that hasn't been taken out too often. We've been doing this for 20 years, and still you pull stuff like this, Michael. Why did you bring your sister? We're on the field. This is no place for the disabled. The voice is that of an older man, mid-Western. He sounds exasperated, as if he was rehashing an argument for the 100th time. She wanted to come. She doesn't get out of the house very often. Besides, you should be very grateful, Bobby. We would have never found our new partners without her. The second voice belongs to an old man too. It's more intense and still holds echoes of a Russian accent. I'm sure my interpretation of that didn't, but yes, because she's talked about vampires online. You got your door busted in by the FBI, as I remember. What did you? How do you do a Russian accent? What did you? I don't wanna butcher it. We did sure, but we cleared the misunderstanding and now we're consultants, so quit your griping. Hi, the perfect truck. Long time no see. Bobby, Michael, play nice. You sound like an old couple. The third voice has a heavier Russian accent and belongs to an older woman. All three have clearly known each other for a long time. Let's find Father Anthony and see if he can help us. From what I've heard, he is an exceptional man. You're exceptional, but he doesn't like moles. You nudge Benoit and discreetly point out the three people approaching you along the cathedral's central aisle. He nods in understanding. This is bad news, whoever these three are. We need to get out. Let's meet outside. Better not call attention to yourself. You decide to move to the side of the cathedral and pretend to pray at an altar. You walk casually towards the side, away from the three approaching mortals. You feel their eyes boring into your back, but you force yourself to be cool. Benoit is nowhere to be seen. You blinked, and he disappeared, in a burst of speed. You're worried it was too conspicuous, but maybe the mortals missed it. You pretend to admire the architecture for a while before glancing back at the trio. They have settled at the exact spot you just occupied, apparently waiting for something and conversing in hushed tones. Once you're sure their attention is elsewhere, you start walking briskly down the side aisle towards the exit. That was a close call. Who were those three? Did you recognize them? I might have. I'm not sure. There's talk of a few tenacious vampire hunters living in the city. One of them is supposed to be a woman in a wheelchair. Vampire hunters? Oh no. For a second, Benoit looks at you as if he was wondering whether he should say something. There's one thing I've always wondered about the story of Cain. The traditions of the Camarilla put a lot of faith in the relationship between sire and childer. You're supposed to follow the example of your maker, yet Cain didn't really seem to care for the vampires he embraced. Did he think it was a mistake to create our kind? Well, my sire left me. Is that common among the kindred? Yes, unfortunately. The kindred are selfish and cruel. You know, I'm Sophie's childer, and you are her protégé. Huh, really? It's amazing that we share an appreciation for the mythologies of our kind, considering Sophie has little interest in questions of the spirit. You stare at Benoit. You knew there was something he wasn't telling you, but in all the talk about Cain and the first city, you forgot about it. Now the only question is, what does this mean? Does Sophie know her childer is talking to you? Probably not. Don't hold it against me. But I admit, finding some pleasure in seeing you suffer the effects of Father Anthony's faith, I suppose that's the demon in me. So he's a sadist. Fuck you, that was not okay. Do that again and I'll make sure you regret it. You'll get over it. You know, we should meet again. No. We've talked so much about myth, but maybe that's cowardly when the reality of fate is in front of us. I'll introduce you to Father Anthony. What? No. Yeah, dresses like a douche, walks like a douche, talks like a douche. Yeah. You nod, unsure whether that's a good idea. Benoit walks away and you follow his example, not wanting to hang around the cathedral any longer. That was probably my last night before the grand finale. So exciting. And time to sleep. And it's evening again. You wake up. This is not your heaven. Oh crap, somebody has taken me. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms and find they are tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit a cold ceiling. You can't quite believe it, but this is a coffin or something close enough to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from outside. It's entirely dark, but it vibrates, so maybe we are moving. What's this? Call out. It's dangerous. You focus and divert your blood to boost your senses. You begin to deduce some details. The vibrations mean you're in some kind of transport. Maybe a car. You can just hear the suggestion of an engine hum. The cold interior is metal, for sure. More sounds that you try to focus on. A male voice, indistinct. The crackle of radio, the brakes of the car, an impact. The container jostles about. The car door opens violently. You hear a gun being cocked. A panicked scream. Ah! It's the Second Inquisition. Operation compromised. Engaging blank bodies. A deafening shot rings in your ears. Dazed, you return your senses to their normal levels. The ringing continues. The lid comes off. What the? Where am I? Why am I? It's Agathon! You're here. That's a relief. It really is a relief. So lovely to see you, my Coteries member. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us and that asshole over there. It's Hope. My other pal. Follow us and quick. Seeing their faces is surprising, even more so. I don't think he's a traitor. I think he's saving me. However, you realize the immediate danger and follow your companions out of the car and down a street in North Bronx. The van has crashed into another car. A familiar face, that of Kaiser School Jackie, stumbles out of the wrecked sedan and slinks away into the darkness before you can call after him. The three of you jog away toward the line of the trees and take shelter under some branches, just as you hear a chopper approaching. Its searchlight illuminates the wrecked van and moves toward you. Get on the ground, Agathon takes something out of his pocket. You hear a soft breaking sound, and then he just disappears from sight. You look to Hope, but she's not there. You haven't seen any movement, just a tree she leaned against a scant few seconds ago. You're left alone with just seconds to make your move before the spotlight finds you. You take off before the light can reach you. In just a single dash, you find a small overgrown mound beneath an old tree. You realize you didn't have to run that far. The searchlight passes through where you were standing just seconds ago, but doesn't actually reach much further into the park. The helicopter flies on, its searchlights frantically moving through the vicinity as your companions once again appear in your proximity.
We have an opening. Let's go before the SI decides they want to do another swing.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Hope, care to fill them in?
Your life up to this point? Everything you need? It was a highly advanced VR simulation. Welcome to the real world. Your blank stare is what makes her crack. No, actually, the SI, First Light, in this case, I think, raided your heaven and took you in. They were just transporting you out of town. Kaiser told us which route they'd take. So Kaiser helped me also. I didn't know he was so nice. I don't care about Sophie. I wonder why Kaiser did this. Also, why did the Second Inquisition come after me? Maybe it was... it must have been that Callahan. He must be in league with the Second Inquisition. Damn him. Kaiser organized this whole effort. Why would he do that? In the city, if Kaiser Reno finds somebody who's about to die useful, they simply don't die, Maroon. Guess you kept yourself useful, so good work and keep at it.
Speaking of, he's here. Come on.
Kaiser's familiar car stops nearby, and the back door opens. Your allies usher you inside and join you. Being inside, this mobile fortress never felt like a relief, until now.
Hey, fledgling, meet me.
Actually, yeah, I kind of did.
Oh, that's so sweet. I had to break it to you, but I didn't take a sudden liking to you. I'm here on business.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You are here now, only because I told your buddies that you were neck deep in shit. That when you were in a one-way ticket to Hurtville, Pennsylvania. I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me big.
I realized that. Hope's nods.
What's so funny, Chester?
Hurtville? Pennsylvania?
What? You like it?
Yeah, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is there a usenet where you workshop these bits with other ancient demons? Can I get in?
Everyone's a critic.
How the hell did you know the SI broke into my heaven and took me away?
Is that a piss poor attempt at an insult, fledgling?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense that he knows about everything.
I've got eyes on you ever since that little job you did for me in Nolita. You know, in case I need you for something else. I had to know your comings and goings.
Of course. I guess the rumors are true. The old fart is surprisingly good at keeping up with the information flow in the city, despite his age, probably in the top 3. Gee, thanks, Sugar. To be fair, you're probably in the top 10. He grins with what you assume is a lecherous smile. Hope seems only momentarily insulted by the top 10 remark. I have a good idea of why the SI hit you so lucky. Not that there aren't tons of good reasons for it. It might have been one of these, for instance. The screen since Kaiser's car flicker and each of them now shows a short-looked clip. It's you, getting into a fight, feeding, using one of your powers. Uh-oh. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, Fletching. I get it. You're new to this. You didn't know better. Yada yada yada. The fact is, the SI has tons of this stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers, social media posts from victims, you name it. Like I said though, I don't think any one of these did you in slip-ups happen. The reason I need you walking and talking so lucky is to test a hypothesis of mine. For that, I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. So first things first. Here. He hands you a phone. The number has already been dialed. You hit it on. Somebody picks up. Who is this? It's me, Sophie. Solakian? Are you okay? They are fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone your protege is using, so keep it snappy. Operating a secure network ain't cheap. Come on, Solakian, spit it out. Agatha and Hope saved me from the Second Inquisition, Sophie. I only got out because of them. Your companions look at one another knowingly. SI? That's what I feared. I believe I owe you an apology. I brought this on you, in a way. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Ha, now I've heard everything. Indeed. Shut up, you scabrous, filthy bishop. Oh, I think we've got connection issues. Hold up. Geyser drops the call remotely. He then waits about half a minute, after which he dials the number again, without your input. Sophie picks up again. Got it out of your system, you fucking diva. Yes. Good. Keep talking. Solakian, the plan. We need to do it. Tonight. But if the Inquisition is involved, and you drop out, they'll be looking for you. So we can't meet in public. I have a place in mind, but I can't give it to you while Kaiser is listening. The Nosferatu just smiles. Call this number from where you visited before last we spoke. I'll come pick you up. She hangs up. And that's that. Well, Solakium, care to elaborate? No need to answer that riddle. I think I've almost arrived at the answer. Sorry to spoil the fun, but I'll answer that particular riddle momentarily. Don't worry, doll. I can throw a few other ones your way after our mutual acquaintance continues with their night. If my intel is worth a damn, your next stop, Solakium, is right about here. The car comes to a stop, and the door opens. Outside, you see the street leading to Solids and Stripes. Talks pool pub. Well, you need me to kick you out. what about Agatha and Hope?
What about them? They're staying right where they are, and we are going to have a little chat. After we are done, I'm sure they'll find their way back to their heavens just fine. The clock is ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants to do tonight. And if I'm right, tonight's the last chance you've got. If you wanna say bye to your buddies before you go, that's fine by me. But that schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so you better do it now and scram.
You thank both of your companions for their assistance. Without them, you wouldn't be here now. Heisen makes a gagging gesture and urges you to step out of the car. You turn around and make your way to the bar. The door closes behind you, and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high of a price for helping you. The Solids and Stripes is pretty much abandoned now, with only the bartender and one bleary-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar screen. You ask to use the phone and call Sophie first. Yes? I'm here. Are you on your way? Yes. We'll be there in about 15 minutes. Not if I talk if he's not there. We'll need to talk soon and move quickly. She hangs up. You tell the bartender to notify Paul, just like the unarmed leader mentioned you should. The man makes a short call. You only hear somebody picking up, but no words exchanged. The owner's on his way right now. Can I get you anything while you're waiting? Actually, do you serve the special stuff? Bartender raises an eyebrow. The special reserve, you mean? Sorry, I can only serve that to a narrow selection of the owner's friends. Well, I am one of his friends. No, it's a list. And you're not on the list. I know because it hasn't changed for a while now. Sorry. Everything else at the bar is up for grabs though. Sure you don't want something? You shake your head. Talk comes in some 10 minutes later without Mia. He tips his hat to you, puts a hand on the bleary-eyed patron's shoulder, and says something to him under his breath. They both laugh.
Marty, how's the night going?
Quiet, sir.
Just how you like it, huh? Well, so lucky. I believe you wanted me here for a reason. Let's hear it.
You're about to tell him what brought you here, when the doors to the bar open and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. Patron's eyes are now glued to her, and so are the bartenders. Thanks for telling me. Let me make it a little quieter. Dog isn't happy with the sight.
Well, this isn't what we agreed on, Solakium. Care to explain?
Things got complicated. We had to improvise. I'm sorry. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Solakium already told you why I'm here.
Not in any detail, and the circumstances of our meeting were supposed to be different. So, Miss Langley, tell me why I shouldn't ask you to leave and kick out your protege while I'm at it.
You will like what I have to say.
Yeah, I heard that line 100 times. But 99 of those ended with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight.
We are wasting time. There is a unique opportunity we should take advantage of. And we only have an hour or so to discuss it before it will be time to act. My driver is waiting outside.
Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Mia. That was the deal. Second, it's Solakium who was supposed to do the driving, not your servant.
Both served me, so really, it's of little difference. The circumstances changed, and we had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. I have a secure spot in mind where we can talk. Why can't you talk here? Sophie.
I'll stop you right there.
Dog is seething, but he's keeping a lid on his anger. His voice barely changes.
My conditions were clear. The way I hear it, you want to break each one of them. I see no reason at all to agree to any of this. I believe I will be staying put tonight. You have places to be, yes?
Dog, you're throwing away the only chance you have at challenging Callahan. Don't be a fool. The lid comes off.
Call me a fool one more time, woman, and that's not the only thing I'm going to be throwing.
Sophie, Dog's right. This does sound like a setup. I wouldn't trust you either in this situation. You dare? She slaps you fast, hard. The sound reverberates in the mostly empty bar. Yeah, I'm getting slapped again. Dog smiles.
See, Solakium, that's the cam in a nutshell. You obey them to the letter, or they put you in your place.
It's Sophie who's sitting now. I don't have any more time for this charade. Fine, stay here, both of you, if that's what you want to do. What was I thinking, risking my reputation for you, Solakium? Shots break the front windows, and a flashbang goes off in the room, changing the bar into a space of white light and ringing noise. Is this the Second Inquisition? You feel somebody tugging at your back, and are thrown behind the bar. More shots ring out, bottles break, the TV shatters into pieces, the wooden bar splinters. Your sight comes back, but you think you've gone deaf, because suddenly the room is silent. You see Talk beside you, and Marty, the bartender, bleeding out on the floor. You look over the bar. Sophie's standing there, her dress partially tattered, a visible hole in her leg. She's like the heart of a supernova, entrancing, unavoidable, beautiful and terrifying. In front of her are 8 operatives, looking like a private military force, just standing there, paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. Doc, you still there?
Yeah.
Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality?
Sure thing.
The Anarch is gone in a blink of an eye, and he reappears next to one of the soldiers. The armor-clad operative's head disappears in a puff of blood and bone. The same thing happens to the second, the third. You hear the radios go off on other soldiers' shoulders. A panicked voice pleading them to wake up. The fourth head pops. The fifth. They finally realize what's happening, but it's too late. The sixth man is beheaded by what you now see is just Talk's bare-fisted punch. Talk stops by the seventh man, rips something off his neck, and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him kneel in front of her before biting as well. On your right, a man in full body armor emerges from the back door, raising his assault rifle. What the fuck? With a rush of speed, you take hold of the soldier's gun. He is too surprised to hold on to it. You turn it on him and shout the first thing that comes to your mind. On the ground, now! The combat knife crashes through the soldier's visor and into his skull. You turn around. Talk is grinning. He mouths something under his breath. You can hear the exact words.
Still got it.
Langley. Sophie wipes her mouth of blood and looks at him.
That meeting still an item?
Yes.
I'll take it.
Splendid. Doc walks behind the bar and checks on the bartender. You see the Anak open his own wrist and feed the blood to the wounded man.
Drink up, Marty. It'll make you feel better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming and she'll know what to do.
Doc.
Yo, come in. Take the back door, Salakium. Come on.
You slink back into an alley behind the bar, leaving 10 bodies and one grievously wounded ghoul behind. Nobody stops you from circling around the block and finding your way to Sophie's car. Gregory drives away casually, as if this was just another late-night drive, and not the crowning of a desperate, complicated evening. The sense of irony is just overwhelming. The place where Sophie brought talk turns out to be the very same apartment in which you were embraced. The way she explains it, the vampire who owned it left the city a few years ago and gave away spare keys to a few trusted compatriots. It's been used sporadically since.
Fancy.
You like it. It always felt too modern for my tastes, but what's important is that it's secure.
As long as nobody followed your car here, or the fledgling. Trouble follows this one wherever they go.
Even if that's the case, we have very little time to conduct our business here anyway, and we'll be leaving soon, I hope, so let's begin. Finally, I've been waiting for this. You will hopefully understand why I kept you in the dark for so long, Childa. I have it on good authority that Boss Callahan is bloodbound to Prince Panhard. Oh my, I didn't expect that. But there is a problem. I should be stopping. Maybe I can still do 5 more minutes. Maybe this game ends 10, I hope. Thork sucks air in loudly.
That's an accusation and a half there, Langley. Got proof?
No, but we are just a boat ride away from getting it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Solakium, the address that I procured for Kaiser was the meeting spot for Panhard and the Baron's regular sharing of blood and other bodily fluids, if the rumors are true.
Wait, Kaiser knew about this?
Is there anything that insufferable clump of dead skin doesn't know in this city? He knows things, but only shares them if you pay. Neither the prince or Callahan can touch him. He's too useful. Aren't you afraid this is some kind of trap? Maybe they know we'll be coming because Kaiser told them. I consider that this might be the case. If that's what happened, then it is already done. This was an ever-present risk, but it hasn't stopped me thus far. It won't now.
I don't like that he's involved, but then again, I've been in this city long enough to know he's usually involved in some way. What was the address he gave you?
They meet regularly on Ellis Island. In fact, their next scheduled meeting starts in just around half an hour. Oh damn! I'm guessing you want to crash that meeting. Why? So you can see the proof for yourself, so that I can make sure to, and so that I have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present to her my ultimatum. The prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she pleases, but if she stays, the entire court will know, and the next prince might not look favorably on her past. Dealing with Anaks, especially so closely, is a punishable offense in the Camarilla, as I'm sure you've heard.
So I did.
Doc strokes his beard and looks intently at Sophie.
What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Say you remove Panhard, and I even remove Callahan, then what?
Talk. Did you ever wonder why Callahan is keeping you in check? Because I wondered why the prince condemns Anax during her visits to Elysium, but doesn't allow the ivory tower to challenge you. She or they have engineered this status quo not for the good of their sects, but for private gain. They keep us all in line because it lets them hold on to power that much longer.
And your goal? What? Make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. You cammies will get your butts kicked out of New York City in no time.
If you anarchs manage to organize, which I doubt you will, at any rate, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. This entire operation has been years in the making. Thork, I'm offering you a chance to square things with Callahan and level the playing field. If we get rid of these two, we can start on equal footing at the next stage of this dance macabre. Sophie, why am I here? I understand you needed me to set this meeting up, but why am I listening to all of this? It's a precaution, in a way. It's a shame this Mia you told me about did not make it in time to listen to this too.
I can still call her, but it'll probably be an hour before she gets here.
We can't wait that long. You will have to suffice, Solakio. I am risking the princess, or even Callahan's wrath. While I don't think they would dare to lay a finger on me, another set of eyes to watch over the meeting can't hurt. And I did promise I would explain everything in time, didn't I?
You know, after all those years spent in Callahan's shadow and taking part in all the kindred dick measuring contests, I should expect a ruse. Some ploy to kill me, and in an out of the way place. That's our inherent paranoia talking. My gut tells me it's time to get this show started. I do hope you have a boat nearby, Langley.
Sophie smiles mischievously. Of course I do. It's waiting for us by the pier.
Lead the way then. Moonlight's burning.
The three of you leave the apartment and walk toward the pier. Nobody seems to be following you. You get on a small patrol boat and double time it through the Hudson cold, dark waters. I'm afraid that I will have to stop right here for this session. Since this is, I think this is pretty much the end. So I think I will do a really small stream later today to finish this up. But at the moment I have something I need to do, so I have to go for a bit, and I'm not sure how long it will take. So it's unfortunately time to end the stream. Thank you. It was nice having you watch this stream, and I hope you can see the end part of the game, but at the moment I have to go. Bye.